And I'm going to do a couple of little poems here for you. And this one here is called The Texas Tumbleweed. I know this little cowboy. He's kind of short and fat. Looks to be a tumbleweed beneath his cowboy hat. He's got whiskers on his chin and a mustache on his lip. Don't concern himself with being cool. No, he ain't very hip. He's got no spurs to jingle jangle. He can't even mount a horse, cause that saddle's way up there and his legs are so dang short. Well, he hails from the piney woods where the air is clean and pure. Yeah, he's a full-blood Texan, and for that, there ain't no cure. He gets a little mouthy. His voice is kind of loud. Yeah, he's his father's son, and that makes his mother proud. He likes to play the guitar and tell a joke and make you laugh, and maybe you won't forget it if you ever cross his path. And when they write that final chapter, I hope history is kind, cause this man's a legend, if only in his mind. Thank y'all very much. I like to travel around and go to livestock shows, and I gather inspiration for these poems just about everywhere I go. And I was standing around in the parking lot in Nashville, Tennessee, and we was all standing around out there and just eating sausage and biscuits. One of the cowboys standing out there, a fellow by the name of Pinky Lee Morganson from Denver, Colorado, he started complaining about the biscuit what he was eating. And, you know, in my opinion, you don't complain very much when you get anything at all to eat when you're standing in the parking lot at the livestock show in Nashville, Tennessee. And here, that was the inspiration for this next one I'm going to do. It's called The Cowboy's Last Biscuit. Old Cookie was up before the sun began to shine, slicing the bacon. He cut it thick this time. Yeah, breakfast was always good. He had skills beyond compare. He could make a Denver omelet just like he held from way up there, and the coffee in the pot always strong and black. Just one cup, my friend, well, it'd curl the hair that's on your back. And the gravy in the skillet lives the red-eyed kind, and the grits, a little taste of heaven. And I'm talking every time. But the biscuits that he made for the cowhands on the trail, well, you'd swear that his Dutch oven was on a fire built in hell. And no matter how much butter or jam you slathered on could hide the fact that Cookie just plain got it wrong. And day in, day out, he kept trying to get that recipe just right. But sadly, friends, his story ends tonight. For now the old cook's hanging from a tree back a ways, all because the cowboy said what I told him not to say. Yeah, morning found that cowboy in a mood to fight the devil. He said the bread was bad and he was on the level. But there was just one thing this old cowboy, he didn't understand. Those biscuits were the kind Cookie's mama made with her own frontier hand. So Cookie, he whipped up a gun, and the cowboy's time has passed. He didn't know that awful biscuit was going to be his last. All right, I'm going to do one more while I'm up here.
Go ahead.
And most of us, I'm sure, grew up watching Western movies on TV, and all of them had a saloon, all of them had a bunch of drunks and a bunch of old card sharks. And this here's a play on all of that. It's called Shifty at the Table. The cowboy, he looked up the trail. He could see what lay ahead. The things that had transpired last night, well, they had left 3 men dead. It all started with a bottle of whiskey, not store-bought, but the homemade kind. It was 190 proof. Too much would make you lose your mind. And all the cowhands called him Shifty because of the way he moved in the saddle, and he could catch a rattlesnake by the head, and like a whip, he'd pop the rattle. And just as quick with a pistol, oh, he could really slap some leather. Yeah, no one knowed it, but they just weren't no one better. And it was a skill that he acquired when he was just a lad, but he kept it to himself so as not to meet the fate of his dear old gunslinging dad. Well, let's get back to the saloon where the cards were on the table. 8s and aces, the dead man's hand, or so goes the fable. And the 3 men of whom I spoke when this story did commence, they hatched a plan and stacked the deck to them, it made perfect sense. They'd take a cowboy's wages from 2 months on the Chisholm Drive, just cheat him quick and get out of town with everyone left alive. They didn't see nothing wrong, and it was just a game of cards, and the cowboys, they'd be drunk. It couldn't be that hard. Well, the bottle was getting empty, and old Shifty had drank his share, and going out the door, he stumbled and fell in an empty chair. And he looked up and saw the faces of 3 men just a-playing poker, and Shifty didn't know it, but he was now their joker. Well, friend, I didn't mean to make this short story quite so long, but to leave out any facts along the way, that'd be just plain wrong. Now the game had gone into the early morn, and it was dang nigh over. The pot was big, and Shifty was broke, pert near sober. The 3 card sharks, well, their plan had worked, at least that's what they were thinking, but they didn't know a few hours before old Shifty had swapped the bottle that he was drinking. They all thought he was drunk, but Shifty, he was smarter. For the past 4 hours, this old cowboy, he had been drinking colored water. And when he throwed that hand and it showed 8s and aces, you should have seen the look on those 3 weary faces. Well, the card sharks called Shifty Shifty from the way he dealt the cards. And 3 men got some schooling, and they learned a lesson hard. Then the shooting started when the first man went to draw, and too slow he was, and like his friends, he heard Grim Reaper's call. So if you're ever in a cow town playing poker with Shifty at the table, cut your losses, don't let him deal, and leave while you're still able. All right, do y'all want to hear one more? I'll do you one more. This one here is probably I'd say it's probably the second. I think this is the second one I wrote. I've been writing songs now about 15 years, and I got into kind of this cowboy poetry, storytelling, because, all the complaints about my playing and singing, because, I'm kind of out of tune and all that good stuff. Well, this is a poem called "The Saddle is Home." The wind softly stirs the cool country air, and I think of home and wish I was there. My ma and my pa and all of my kin, oh, how I long to see them again. The campfire flickers and lights up the sky, and sleep just won't come, no matter how hard I try. You see, it's been years since I hit the trail, just riding and roping and plain raising hell, and all the cow towns I've seen, the brothels and bars. Though I survived, I've got my share of scars from gunslingers and a cowhand who pulled out a knife, and don't forget the frying pan from my best friend's wife. Yeah, she hit me right square in the head, took off a holler and thought I was dead. But I'm a tough old cuss, hard to kill. Father Time's gonna get me. Yes, sir, he will. Well, the sun's coming up, and it's the crack of dawn, and I stir the coals and put some coffee on. Then I pick up my bed and saddle the bay. Roll me a smoke, and it's a glorious day. Then I round up the herd, 'cause it's time to move on. And for a cowpoke like me, the saddle is home. Thank y'all very much.